Good evening, chat. Welcome back. It is, well, in some ways the fourth week, in some ways the fifth week. Matches get shuffled around, but this is a matchup, one of the final two for PINT Gaming and probably also Aragosta. The bottom two teams in the tables currently meeting each other to duke it out and see who maybe still somehow has a shot at playoffs, at least for PINT Gaming. Maybe there's probably some universe in which they can still make it if they get as many points as possible in the next couple of weeks, and some teams on the other end of the table kind of don't in any way, but let's not talk about that just yet. Hi, I'm Cerny. Sam's on the cam. Beater on the mic, about to drop bars or something. I don't know. Hi, how you doing, man?
Doing good. It's called the Delegation Derby. I remembered it, Cerny. That's what it's called, except nobody gets delegated in ETF2L anymore. But I got it. I'm so proud of myself. Yeah, it should be fun. Two bottom teams in the tables. Only one of them can get some points here. Technically, PINT Gaming can still make playoffs if they beat Forfence tomorrow as well. So it should be fun to see, but I believe Aragosta can get some points. I believe, Cerny.
You want to make sure that they don't end the season on 0 or maybe even negative points, because they were looking in the balance that could happen, right? They could be one of the rare opportunities of our team to end with negative points because of the warning they got, right? Obviously, be pretty unfortunate. It would be nice for them to at least get some points at the end of the season, because yeah, somebody's got to be the worst team, right? And they've obviously been performing the poorest at the end of the day, but they still had some flashes here and there in their matches, right? They've clearly shown what they're capable of. And if there is a team to be going up against to try and get points from, it's clearly the other team that's also been struggling, right? PINT Gaming, they've looked solid in a lot of their matchups, but ultimately didn't come out on top most of the time. They just couldn't get the maps cleared out or have enough steam in the tank for the longest time. So if there is a team that Aragosta can get some points against, it may be PINT Gaming, it may be on process or product, depending on how they feel about it. Product is their pick. They do have Varnu, who likes to snipe a lot, so who knows, right?
Yeah, anything's possible. I think they're going to have to play really well, Aragosta. If they want to win, they're going to have to play the game of their life. But if they do that, I absolutely think they're able to get some points off, because it's not like PINT Gaming doesn't make any mistakes and are super solid, right?
Yeah.
It's unthinkable that they get this. So we have definitely a favorite team here in PINT Gaming, but absolutely they can drop points here. And I am really hoping that Aragosta is going to get this. It feels like an insult to end the season with negative points. It's like you were worse than when you started. It's
in some way, yeah. Like, yeah, you somehow got worse over the course of the season. Like, even though you put in all this effort, you showed up every week to play your matches and, put up a fight at least for some part of it. Very unfortunate indeed. That being said, Process is our first map. Peter, they're about to get started. What do you think the scoreline is going to look like in the next 30 or so minutes?
I think it's going to be something like 3-1 in favor of PINT Gaming. Maybe it could be like 4-5. Maybe even in favor of Aragosta if things just get crazy. What about you?
I think I'm going to be with you on that one for the 3-1 or something like that in the favor of PINT Gaming. I guess we'll see how this first mid-fight maybe spells the whole story out for us from the get-go, depending on who gets some early momentum going, who gets the first little cheeky pick or bomb across. Mackie trying to get onto the demo here, doesn't quite get that followed up, unfortunately. They do find warp in the trade, at least on the other side, but it's still a soldier for a soldier, and in terms of health, it's looking a little bit better for PINT Gaming. They have lost Soki as well, though, and do have to concede the ground on the mid as a result. So it is going to be a 1 mid for the time being for Aragosta. It was looking a bit dicey for a bit, but Diamond Slayer stays in there with the health, keeps everybody else alive, and they win the mid. Now, ready and poised to get into second as well.
Sia's going to jump in here, creates a lot of space. Everyone else going to move forward here. They do have a one-man advantage. Second soldier ball comes in here from Sia. Red Leaf hasn't really moved that far forward here. They're not gaining that much space. They're holding it really far back here, PINT Gaming. I think everyone's just going to have to slink out a choke here. So really good hold. They had a one-man advantage going into Aragosta. So they're going to just have to chill out for a while here. They did a really good job of just absorbing the soldier aggression there in mid. They went for Hybrid Slayer, and Hybrid Slayer just went back into BC. Basically the bunker, and then just held it out. Came out. Looks like Vanu's for some place. It's a pretty big. He's gonna have to go back for a second try here, but you can see Mackie and Vanu, they're both playing pretty aggressively while the rest and just taking some space here.
Ooh, that's Davey
Davy's
down though.
down.
That's a crucial pick to get Juxta cleaned up as well. This is opening the door for PINT Gaming. They lost Smile as a result, but Andy's already on the chase as well, trying to maybe see if he can take down the Soldier. A bit of help is going to take care of Sia. That's 3 players down for Aragosta. Wide open on this mid now for PINT Gaming. They just got to make sure nobody of these remaining players gets anything cheeky done, gets off Patchouli, or they overextend anybody.
Completely alone. Thank God no
Someone
one
gets out, yeah.
Yeah.
Gets away with it. Dicey, but they stay in there. Crucially, they keep Heimenslayer alive, they keep the Uber alive. So even though they lose mid now, it's still an okay opportunity for Aragosta to keep holding this. They get the spawners up as well, so its sides have changed, but the situation remains, well, largely the same. It's still a stalemate into second.
Yeah, Smile's peeking pretty far forward. They're trying to just deduce where everyone's position is. I think they want to send in a soldier or maybe a scout running through low or something like that, but they need to know where the medic is holding before they do it, just so you don't end up jumping nothing. Actually, Soki, he's jumping to take down the scout, runs onto the medic here, not quite going to be able to get in there.
And there's 3 on the other side. They just get us aggressed on and choke, and everybody dies. It's Andy Warped trying to escort Patchouli out, and, well, Warped isn't really with him. He's actually in behind, being a bit of a nuisance here, perhaps. They certainly know he's there, so gonna have a hard time really getting much done, and the rest of our ghosts are just gonna move forward on that. Andy's gonna try to go for the exchange. His valid choice to try and do that, making them flash a lot. It's gonna fade a little bit sooner for Heimenslayer, but not much, and even if Warp manages to escape now, Ubers have reset. It is a reset on the fight here, but players still not really in position. Smile gets caught out in sewer again as well, and PINT Gaming might still find themselves in not the greatest situation.
Yeah, it was really good until Smile got picked there. Warp might get picked off as well. No, actually, he's going to win that duel against Sia. Unbelievable. I thought he was dead for
1 health.
sure. Yeah, 1 entire health. That's all you need to not be dead here. So now, Soldier's going to jump in. I think everyone from Aragosta just pushed so far back that he's going to have to retreat. Soldier does get taken
Davey
down
somehow.
there.
What?
Yeah, gets Davey.
Fadeaway rockets is somehow the stray rocket finds Davey anyway. That's going to be huge for PINT Gaming. Allows him to get into this into the second, maybe even into last. A little bit of aggression. No demo to deal with means that a little bit of early peeking here for the doors is a lot easier. No sentry to worry about either. It's only level 1 Maverick taken down immediately. Alien holding his own ground as well. The spawners are there now, though, for Aragosta. It's going to be a little bit harder the longer they wait on the side PINT Gaming. A bit of point pressure certainly comes a long way. And Alien takes on the sentry once more. Warp traded out for Sia. It's still very much a fight that could go either way here. The Ubers are both in play as well. Eventually, Heimenslayer gets popped off first, and unfortunately for them, they're not really playing aggression on PINT Gaming to get that Uber out of Patchouli on the other side. It's going to be so much better as they decide to return to spawn camp and get onto the point. And that's a pretty quick first round for PINT Gaming.
Bit of a panic pop there out of Heimenslayer. Just saw the point was about to cap, popped the Uber, and it didn't really do a whole lot. Nobody was really in a position to get a good exchange out. So Patchouli just retreated with a scout, waited it out, and then came back in. Really clean push in there. Everyone was just in spawn. It was the easiest cap of all time. It was a half capped already. That's going to be 1-0 here for PINT Gaming as we go into the second mid.
Seeing how things turn around here. PINT Gaming weren't looking too confident on the mid last time around. This time around, a little bit of early aggression. Alien certainly beating out Davey on the demo duel for the time being, but gonna be down to the soldier buffs. The ground taking huge claim of its Smile. Going high, going deep. Soki's gonna be the first to die though. There goes Andy as well as Warp though. PINT Gaming again on the back foot for this mid fight. Not really doing all that well. Alien caught out for sure as well. There's no way he gets away with anything else here. Maybe a straight pipe. Nope. Nothing he can do. Davey would have lived anyway, and that's going to be just Patchouli and Smile escaping somehow with their lives. Getting back to last, but it's a big clapback here for Aragosta. A nice opportunity to get back into last and grab a round for themselves, perhaps.
Yeah, I really like how they're just playing it really passively. Aragosta just absorbing all of the aggression. It's really working out for them so far. I wonder if we're going to see PINT Gaming adjust to that in the next mid, but we need to get to another mid before that. We have an equal Uber situation, and Davey actually goes down here and tries to pressure out. So this has been an equal trade so far, so I don't think we're actually going to get a push out of this here, and maybe even Juke's going to go sniper or something. This is an opportunity to either hold the door open for someone or to go for an off-guys himself. He's going to say no to all of that.
Varnu's just gonna walk in though. There's nobody on the point anyway. They've got no sticky side. You can get so much cap time straight away with the soldier backing up as well. There's so much. Just 2 players coming in. Sia with the follow-up as well, trying to see if he can get anything more. So much cap time. Just for those 3 players walking in because Alien was still respawning. That is scary. Oh, you got Smile trying to do something on the other side here. They're just sending themselves out, matter of fact, trying to go for the exchange. Obviously, it's going to be a lot better for Patchouli. He's milking so much. Juxta missed every single shot. You hate to see it. Trying to go for the point, buddy. Do something, maybe. But it is not looking great at all. Patchouli.
There's 2 scouts on left and a soldier.
Okay, it's still, they're sending everything at the point, but it's not going to happen when Alien's there to defend it, surely, right? And they're trying everything, but it's scrappy at best, and it's falling apart fairly quickly now. A full Uber in tow for PINT Gaming. They're gonna get out into the second, and this is looking like a 1 point already at this point. Yikes.
Still has the full. Alright, we have a
Manu Spy.
Yes.
Interesting.
Sneaking around in a pretty good position if they just start moving in.
Probably didn't see the shutter. Okay, so he's getting behind.
Not uncloaking down.
Oh, he's in this though. Oh, that's dicey. Nobody heard it.
Okay.
No, they saw him though. They saw him. Nobody heard it, but they did see him, and that's it. Unfortunate. It's an ambitious play with the invis watch, right? But if you do run out of ammo, if you do run out of invis, then you really start to feel it, and unfortunately that time it didn't quite work out. Now, Smile does go down while they're trying to push into mid here. That is going to open things a little bit for Aragosta to maybe try and fight this as well. They are going to use the Uber first, trying to maybe force some sort of exchange out. It is unfortunately, again, for them. They're not really in position to really pressure much at all with it. Juxta trying to wrap around, doesn't really get onto anybody. Patchouli feeling no pressure whatsoever, and PINT Gaming just retake. Now Juxta trying to go for the back cap instead. Pull these players back. It does buy Aragosta a bit of time, even if he does pay with his life. But it does get PINT Gaming out of that midpoint for now, and does give them a chance to maybe stabilize, set themselves up a little bit, see what they can do here, milk it a bit, perhaps somehow have a soldier in position at some point to go for a bomb, but I think PINT Gaming are just going to bully their way through here slowly but surely.
Solid surf out of Patchouli, still has not been forced to pop here. Super safe out of him. They're not capping out the point, but they are just wanting to move forward here as fast as they can. As possible, just want to get in. They are taking a bit slower here. And Vanu has snuck it behind. Okay, I think he has been spotted, so he knows he can't really do much. Maggie's up here on the point, and they're taking it so slow. Do not know they have advantage. They're taking it so slow. Soldier's gonna jump in here. They're pressuring it out like they're trying to just threatening to spam them out, but they just didn't do anything with the Uber ads. I really think they didn't realize they had Uber because they just played like that.
Yeah, this is very curious, because at this point, Patchouli's basically milked 2 entire Ubers out of Hyman Slayer. Like, he's up 2 entire Ubers, and they never used the ad at all, so back to the stalemate now. It favored them last time PINT Gaming, to be fair. They came out on top, right? It's a situation that they're not necessarily terrible in. They're already up around as well, so anytime they waste away favors them even more at the end of the day, but it is curious to see this, well, lack of initiative for a little bit there, at least, as they maybe now see if they can figure out a way into the second again. The longer they wait, the harder it might get, the more the defense gets established, but all it takes is somebody on Aragosta to slip up, somebody on the flank perhaps, being a little bit too eager to keen, or maybe Alien just overextending and getting killed. There you go, that might open things up for Aragosta to send in somebody of their own.
Action in the flank as well. What took quite a bit of damage there, so he almost got caught out as well. Soldiers come flying in the skybox. What gets sent to absolute hell and back. And the Ubixing has come out here. They're actually going to catch out the Mackie here in lobby. It's just 2 shinies staring at each other. Now the fight's going to come in here. This is looking so good for PINT Gaming. Patchouli's just doing circles, doing 360s, trying to stay alive, and it's actually going to work.
Yeah, it's a pretty disastrous situation for Aragosta. By the way, I saw it in the in-game chat. It was a pretty funny statistic. Patchouli held for almost 5 minutes there before popping. He was holding on that Uber for almost 5 minutes before they finally had a reason to use it on the side of PINT Gaming, and now they find themselves in another opportunity to get into this last point with, well, 50% ready already. So if it takes long enough this fight, they will have another Uber in store as well, as Warp gets denied, does get killed as well. Hyman's there picking up his KD a little bit, but ultimately they still trade him out for Sia either way, so it's just a bit of a reset. Aragosta managed to stabilize on last. They get a bit of a defense now mounted, but PINT Gaming are ready to go. They still have a bit of an Uber out to work with, and know damn well they want to use it as fast as they can this time around, probably.
Yeah, they're just going to move in. This sentry gun is just basically not even a thing. It's so... they're still building here. They're going to try and pressure up the point here, but they're doing a pretty good job of like contesting this. Hyman Slayer gets bombed though. One somehow finds that window, gets in here. It's just now going to be a fight. Can they actually clean it up here
it's over.
On PINT Gaming? There's still a heavy on the high ground. They're just raining down death very slowly, and looked like they're actually just gonna go out of there. They don't trust that they can win a 2v1 with heals, and they're just gonna hold on to Patchouli's Uber.
Their health was too bad to contest, and they were just too scared of the heavy, so that push was over by the time half the team was dead without accomplishing much. So Aragosta still hanging on this. They're holding this point fairly well so far. Getting the sentry ready again as well. Obviously, the Uber offset is still there, though, right? It's still a big offset in favor of Patchouli here. They're gonna have another Uber ready in mere seconds, and it's just another opportunity, another attempt for PINT Gaming to set themselves in once more. There's the demo taking in deep on the right side. Everybody's up in the bunker, nobody really in the spawn. But if they're not contesting the point, they're not really putting any pressure on this team either. Now the Uber is faded. Uber's gonna be ready for Hyman Slayer soon, and unless he dies again, which this time around he's staying safe and sound behind this heavy, just putting down the pain as well. Eventually, though, the captain comes through. They found enough pressure to get people off that point, to get people of their own on that point on PINT Gaming, and that's 2-0.
Just slowly whittling down the stickies there. Once the stickies were gone, the scout pressure on the point was just too much, and that's going to be another cap. It wasn't pretty. Hyman Slayer was pretty close to getting to himself, but at the end of the day, not quite quick enough. And that's going to be a 2-0 round here. So we've seen Aragosta play really passively on these mids and just absorb the bombers. So I'm curious, are we just going to see Warped and Smile just take it super slow here?
Perhaps. They haven't been on top of these mids so far, PINT Gaming, but this is their map pick, so perhaps they're just trying to study a little bit, right? See what they can do. Smile going for a fast bomb again, having to abort it instead, trying to settle for something else as Alien gets picked off by Mackie. That's opening things up beautifully again for Aragosta. They're on top of these mid fights and they're winning again as it goes time and time. There's Warped taking care of the rest of the team, scattering to the winds once more, and here we are again. Aragosta winning the mid. Now they just have to convert it, and oh, it's a nice opportunity to at least get onto the second as well, as they're just pressuring out. Nice little shot by Smile. All right, you love to see it, but still has to get out of there anyway. I mean, they're still gonna contest. They got a full Uber, probably. At least they've been pretty keen to do that, but maybe not this time around. Second did get capped. Maybe you want to stick on last instead.
Yeah, I think this is a good time to just take it easy. And actually, Von's gonna jump in there. Gets the flank on the demo man, takes him down. This is an absolutely golden opportunity to send in a soldier and try and get the force out of Patchouli here. They could even just do some normal pressure. Actually, they're gonna just take the exchange, and Patchouli actually has to pop it early this time around.
Interesting. Perhaps an opportunity for Aragosta to actually get around to. So much captain being put down already as well. Just laying down his life for that. 2 soldiers picked up in store. That's a scout down as well. It's only 3 players remaining for PINT Gaming here. They might be tanked up a little bit. Simon Slayer is spread thin, trying to keep his team alive, but it's too much pressure on the point for one demo man to deal with. Alien just can't do it himself, and that's a round on the board for Aragosta. They might just have a little bit of a fight left in them. And with 15 minutes left on the clock, that's plenty of time to turn this around.
Yeah, the mid fights are looking really good. So if they can just ride it off into the last point and get some decent Uber exchanges out of there, that seems like a pretty good opportunity there. I was pretty surprised that they managed to get that much out of a demo pick, but they just put pressure on the point. There was no stickies on it, obviously, and it just worked out beautifully for them here. So once again, they had the Aragosta, the soldiers are just kind of taking out the
Yeah, and it's been working well for them as Warp sends himself into the enemy team, gets killed, Sia traded out, but there goes Soki. Mackie trade on the other side. It's number for number. Patchouli eating a lot of damage, though, means he's not going to be in a position to really be all that aggressive. Matter of fact, he's already hightailed it out of there with the rest of the team. And again, PINT Gaming really struggling with these mids. They're 4 for 0 now on these mid fights. Aragosta being on top of them every single time. And this one, while not as decisive as the last one, certainly still good for them. Gives them a chance to get into the second here. Maybe perhaps with early aggression, and the pick could really open the door for them, but the longer they take, the longer it takes to get any sort of ground here, the more time PINT Gaming has to restabilize, and at this point, it's looking like it might devolve to a second stalemate once more.
Yeah, they decide to hold forward up on the Spire there, and that really works out for them. So now we're in a stalemate situation, and Aragosta, they have every reason to make things happen here. So I think they're just going to buff up some soldiers and try to go for some plays. At least that would be a good start. But we'll see if that's what they actually try to do. We see Mackie and Manu, they're playing in the PC area, trying to see if they can find some openings to get in. He isn't shown. While the demo man and the scout are just playing from the far side there, from the launch pad. As Mackie is in, he's actually going to jump up now, gets a rocket onto the medic, and actually ends up getting Alien instead. That's still a pretty good pick, and it did a ton of damage as well. Patchouli's down to 98 HP. The second soldier comes flying in now. Good dodging though. Zia unable to find his target, and I think that's going to be the cue for everyone else here to get out from Aragosta.
Yeah, they find Vanu as well. There goes Juxta, and oh no, Hyman Slayer drops his scout, has to run away. How unfortunate. He's only got David trying to maybe at least hold people off of him. What a disastrous scenario. What could have been like at least somewhat salvageable suddenly turned to the worst possible case. I guess it could have been worse. Hyman Slayer could have died. Now Varu's up with a sniper. Trying to see maybe if we can cheekily turn the tides here. One headshot could change it all, but they're already aware. They popped around the corner as well, trying to clear out the second. That's 2 players down, one of them being Davey. Means this last is going to be in dire straits for Aragosta as well, as they're trying to hold on to this tide of PINT Gaming's players just flooding forward into this last point. No cities on the point means Andy can just stand on it for so long. That's half the point capped already. They have a heavy at least, with Varman trying to put down a little bit of damage, but there's just so much point pressure coming through. Oh, it's so close to getting capped. They're still hanging on to it somehow though.
Soki a bit too weak there. Actually, they have to get out. So a good hold there by the skin of their teeth, managing to hold on to the point. Hyman Slayer has this tiny grab as well, so they could actually push on this. I think it would be a little risky, but at the same time they are behind, so I can see why they would want
pressure
to push.
at least. Yeah, they're pushing pressure into a second, making these PINT Gaming players don't get into good positions. Both soldiers bombing in deep. Unfortunately, both of them get cleaned up as well as the Ubers are exchanged, but point is capped. That is going to slow down PINT Gaming a little bit, and the Uber fades sooner for Patchouli, which again favors Aragosta scouts here, at least as they try to fight on this tide, this red wave coming their way. Eventually, they are coming out on top as well. The numbers are just in their favor. Andy gets taken down, Alien has to escape just narrowly, and Aragosta is keeping up the momentum, matter of fact. They're really trying to get these PINT Gaming players on the back foot, keep them running away, get this momentum, keep it rolling, and it's going well so far. They grab mid off the back of it. Now, though, they might have to slow down a bit.
Yeah, the momentum is definitely in favor of Aragosta right now. They've been playing noticeably better the last 5 minutes. And if they just keep that up, they can absolutely still manage to get that last point to make this a tie and get the first point of the season here. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We have a stalemate situation. Both makes up how to get the Uber, and it's just going to be a matter of how we will try to break this to get some picks. And it looks like Vanu, he was playing forward there, but the 2 soldiers team up to take him down. And now the flank is a bit weaker here. Could be a sign to send in Smile or one. One doesn't quite have the health to really kind of jumping in here. But he Alien, he is just in deep. He's walking forward through this choke. No respect at all. I think Patchouli is just like screaming at him to get back. It's so scary when one guy is just walking through alone.
Need to rein in your demo a little bit. We've got a sniper play once more out of Varno though this time around. Yeah, from mid into second. Can certainly open things up a little bit. Already positioned into sewer, so somebody opening that door and somebody on the other side not being in the right spot. Turn things around a bit. Unfortunately, no shot wrong off so far. That's a nice headshot there onto Alien, though. It's very low, so a soldier can easily clean him up now. But does get healed up just in time. By now, Patchouli's definitely gotten out of harm's way as well. And there you go. You bomb the sniper, get him out of the equation. Now you don't have to worry about him. And you've maybe even opened yourself up for a little bit of aggression to choke, as they immediately do. Matter of fact, they're going for the exchange. And there's going to be so much more flashing for Hyman Slayers that Uber's going to be a lot better for PINT Gaming. Nobody's shiny anymore. That's Davey out of the equation immediately. They find Soki in response, but it's a scout for a demo. But that's a soldier down as well with Mackie down, and the rest of the team has to get out of there. Varnu's still on the rifle. Maybe a cheeky shot into mid, but he's not going to quite get the angle in time, and now he's just going to pray somebody overextends. That's a nice headshot onto Alien, but he was overhealed, buddy. You're not getting that one for free. He lives, and now you have to get out of there.
Yeah, a valiant effort there. Not playing wide enough. You're actually playing very aggressively, a bit too aggressively there. He's going to end up trading, but I don't think that was ever working once you've shown your position like that. Ubers are pretty much even. They could go for a dot push. They have like a 5% ad. It's almost nothing, right? But hey, if they just get in there and threaten them and they make them afraid of pushing, then it could work out. But it has not worked out. In fact, it's gone horribly. Demoman might get taken down.
That's down as well. Ah, but Davey gets traded out. Warp just juggles him a little bit, makes him makes him do a little dance in lobby, and that's not gonna be, again, now that they're just now, it's still enough for Aragosta to, you know, retake second, but it slows them down. And slowing them down at this point is also fine for PINT Gaming. They are still up around, 8 minutes left on the clock.
Oh,
Time
Smile's a corner goblin.
certainly starting to creep a little bit, and Smile does he get away with it? Well, Soki certainly gets a frag for it. Andy now on the sniper on the other side here for PINT Gaming. Will he bring off the headshots he needs to? That's one at least to get Mackie out of there for a while, and Soki's on the chase. He really wants to get something done in here. Just holding W. Probably not the best idea there, honestly, but at the end of the day, who really cares? You're still up around, right? And now you're just trying to bait people into Andy. That's probably the plan here. Yeah, that's the strat. Bait people into your sniper.
He's just radiating chat energy, just running into people with no care for his own life there. Andy is on sniper as well, so I don't really see why he was being that aggressive here. He's just holding far back, waiting for some spawners to get back before he gets aggressive again. And they're just going to take it slow. When you have a sniper, you really want to just slow down the match. You probably want to play inside as soon, just try to get a good angle there, scope up, open the door, that kind of stuff. We'll see exactly what he does. He's still playing really far back, but he is going to slowly start waddling forward here. You can see Hyman's he's playing inside of the top lobby there to try and avoid any sniper sidelines. And actually, Mackie's in. Gonna take down Ward. Actually, 2 players behind right now. I don't see what happened on that flank area. I was so focused on the sniper, but something.
Yeah, that's one of the flank players down. That's one of the flankers. As Varnu is still behind, but gets cleaned up as well. Not gonna get anything done. I mean, yeah, you say like slowing down the game certainly favors PINT Gaming as well, right? Again, they're up around. It's 6 minutes left on the clock. That's plenty of time to get around or even 2, but if they're just gonna keep Aragosta chained, basically, just keep him in the kennel like they're doing right now, then it's gonna be much harder for them to get that round to equalize.
Oh, that's a bad.
With Hyman's they're getting basically forced and having nobody to use it on at all either. That means Davies left out. The Uber gets killed off, and now it's a prime opportunity for PINT Gaming to get something going here. Might even just narrowly escape with Mackie, but it's the last they have to hold against the full Uber, and only they got Alien to slow it down a bit, but that's not gonna stop them for long.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that Andy didn't run back to spawn to swap the scout there. He had a golden opportunity to do so. It wasn't that much. Okay, he actually is. My bad. You should have done it a little bit earlier. Now Smile has gone down. He's going to slow them down. This is super annoying. They're just being hobbled by waiting for players to come back. Now they lost Smile as well, and you're like, we have to push, right? We have to have a 30% app, but that's not that much either because we're all too late. But they are going to end up going in here. No Man's been jogging quite a bit here, but he is safe. Syndicon takes a long time to go down. Take down Sia though, and now it's just a matter of can they reach aggressive.
They also get Juxta, and that's just 2 players down, already not on the point. The Uber does come out for Hyman Slayer, but he's only got 2 players to use it on. As long as PINT Gaming kite this well, they don't have to worry about all that much. Davies trying to put on some damage on the point, but it's just too many players. You can't do anything against basically a whole team. And there you go. That's another round on the board for PINT Gaming. Make it 3-1. The scoreline we predicted at the start. And if nothing more happens for the next 5 minutes, it may very well be the final scoreline. There's still a chance for Aragosta to get some points out of this, but they have to play out of their minds, get 2 rounds very quickly back-to-back. And I guess we'll have to see if they can start continuing their mid success for now as we went into the next mid-fight. They've been good on these. We just have to parlay it into actually winning the rounds.
Yeah, well, actually, oh my god, Dave was getting aggressed on so hard there, but he's actually going to survive just fine. They're being a bit more aggressive this time around, I feel like, you know, in Aragosta, and they're just chasing everyone else out. See, Aelin, he wants to go back in here, but once again, they're going to end up winning this. It felt like a very different mid this time around. I feel like Davey was playing a bit more aggressively than he's done on the other mids, and he was kind of being punished a little bit, took a lot of damage, and then the soldiers jumped in to just take pressure off of him. So Aragosta is actually adjusting mid pretty well here. So they're going to just move in here on the second, keep the momentum going. They need to do something here. They're running out of time. Not even slowly. They actually have 2 players on the flank here. Varnu's behind. Mackie was...
Oh, he's been chased by 3 players. What a sight. You're just holding that door. 3 players suddenly turn the corner. Good lord. Enemy number 1. He was not getting away with that. And yeah, well, so much for that flank, right? Now Aragosta down a player, and Ubers get exchanged as well, and it's a bit better for Hyman Slayer, but it's not that much better. And players now being going pretty low for Aragosta. And they do hang on to this mid for the time being. They managed to kite the aggression well enough. They get Smile taken down as well. That's a little bonus, and there you are. Another opportunity for Aragosta, but they've wasted so much time. Now they only have 3 minutes left on the clock for 2 rounds. It's starting to become a very tall order. They really have to pick up the pace here, get something going. Sia going in deep. Nice little bomb to get onto Patchouli. Unfortunately, none of the rockets connect, but he's in behind. It's being a bit of a nuisance. Gets killed eventually. But again, just putting pressure onto this PINT Gaming team might be all they need. That being said, they did lose 3 players, so perhaps it is over.
Yeah, I don't think Highway Slayer is killing 5 players. I'm sorry. They went in there. They kept on going even though they were at a bit of a health disadvantage there. And they just kind of had to. So, all right, Vanu, do a chain stab. It's the last hope here.
This is how they can still win.
Well.
This is how they still win. This is it. This guy's as a soldier as well. Nobody's gonna suspect it whatsoever. He's just gonna walk up straight by Patrol. Oh, he gets popped already. Well, I guess he flashes Varnu.
He's got this. Oh my god, he's like half.
No way. No, okay. It's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. And yeah, there you go. The round is over. That's GG's. It's what a situation
Somehow
to unfold.
get so much, yet literally nothing at the same time. It's absolute spy gaming, peak spy gameplay coming out of Varnu there.
Absolute cinema.
You'll love to see it.
2 minutes, we're into garbage time. There's no way Aragosta can take this map at this point. PINT Gaming gonna be very happy about getting those 3 points that they so desperately need to still have a chance. In any way,
clean sweep mid, please.
Getting into playoffs. Yeah, this is just as a treat for Aragosta, right? Bottom with the sniper to mid, misses the shot on the scout as well. You hate to see it. Not even that great of a start, but hey, maybe they'll just win the mid anyway. Smile's already dangerously low, not really getting much done with it. Okay, they do find the first frag onto Sia, but it's just traded out for warp straight away. They find Maki, but they go Andy and SK. Davey with a big trap taking down both of those scouts, and it's another one mid. Somehow they're just on top of these.
They have a crits here as well. I was like, it's not really building, so they actually have a crit disadvantage somehow, but you know, maybe Patchouli doesn't have the trigger finger just ready to go here. It is a crit, and they do know. They set nice crits here coming out, so they're just going to Uber out, and they pop the crits here as well, but I'm saying it gets taken down, and actually, if they don't cap mid, it's not going to count as a clean sweep. Oh no! On a technicality, okay, no, on a technicality, they're not going to win this mid. It's terrible, sorry.
Oh man, that's unfortunate. And unfortunate, it just barely slips away from them. At least the perfect record, the silver lining they could have had.
The control point is being
The perfect the silver lining they could have had with winning every mid fight. Not even that's gonna happen. As PINT Gaming, well, maybe if they're fast enough somehow, they could still close out this round, make it a 5-1. But hey, who believes it may very well be over. We may very well be headed into product momentarily. And if you are Aragosta, well, that is your map pick. So perhaps.
Yeah, and you know they've been winning every mid fight. The product is just one big mid fight, right?
True.
So surely it's gonna work out well. Also, you know, you have.
They're actually gonna get it.
Okay, damn. I thought I was gonna look so smart. Not today.
Damn. Well, GG's. PINT Gaming take the map. To be fair, everybody probably expected that. People in chat were voting that way, etc., right? But still, Aragosta put up a fight. They took a round. They looked confident throughout parts of that. They were on top of the mid fights every single time, which is very curious considering this was PINT Gaming's map pick, right? Always talk about like map pick. Do they matter? Do they not matter? Right? But clearly, PINT Gaming have some work to do on their mid fights, on process at least.
Yeah, I think the stat is that the team that wins mid fight wins 70% of the time. Like they win the round. So
we just saw the 30% unfold like 5 times.
Yeah, which seems pretty crazy that can be the case, right? How can you be that good on mid and then not be able to cash in and convert it into a bunch of round wins? I guess that kind of shows you where Aragosta fails, right? It's just the organization afterwards. And I will say the Uber exchanges were just trash for so much of this game. Like there was so often where they would get popped or they would just pop on their own, and then you just like seemingly be running the wrong direction and put zero pressure onto Patchouli. Like Julie held on for an Uber for 5 minutes because the Uber exchanges were just not able to get him to pop.
Yeah, he also didn't die once that entire match.
Oh, wow, okay.
He did run on the 0 deaths. He's also got 0 kills, so unfortunately he has a, he doesn't get like an infinite KD, but I guess if you're going by KAD, he's doing pretty good for himself. But I mean, looking at the stats, you can see Andy had a pretty good game as well. Alien was laying down monstrous amounts of damage to follow up his scout. They're having a good match, right? They're having a good time. Davey actually doing pretty well as well. I gotta give it to him. Like
Yeah.
in past matches that I've watched at Aragosta, oftentimes Davey ends up getting caught a lot, like being a bit too aggressive, maybe not in tune with the team as much. This time around, playing very solidly, playing well, putting a lot of damage down for his team, probably solely facilitating a lot of these fights still somehow going the way of Aragosta, right? It's being a very big part of why the mids are going as well as they are at the end of the day, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if we assume Varno is gonna go sniper, who would they put on scout? Would it just be Sia on scout instead?
If they even want to do double scout, I mean, it's the ideal strategy, but maybe they're fine with double soldier when they have the sniper.
Yeah, it depends on who you have, right? Like if you have someone who's a really good soldier but not a very good scout, then you shouldn't switch him to scout because the class doesn't compensate for the lack of skill set. But they did play against Witness Gaming on product where they played a bunch of Honor Sniper. I forgot what they did. It wasn't that important of a game. Let's just say.
Yeah. I mean, it's against Witness, so what can you do, right? No, I mean, we're just assuming they're gonna have Varnu snipe. It's kind of what he does. Obviously, at the end of the day, if it really doesn't go their way, they can still go back to the normal strats. Also, if we're gonna talk about a Varnu sniper, you do have to talk about the elephant in the room on the other side. And he's a pretty good sniper too. He's pretty solid. So,
yeah, true.
You can pick up the rifle just as well and try to do some sniping on their side. And, well, you got Smile on your team, who is probably very confident in switching to the scout if you need to. So,
yeah, that's true. I hadn't actually thought about the Smile factor, but yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I also do think that Andy is just like much better off on scout in general on this map, I think. So I think for the most part, they want to be running with the cookie cutter lineup, and then maybe put like Andy on sniper quite sparingly. But yeah, when they do that, they can absolutely just put Smile on scout. Smile can play every class, so it's pretty easy and for them to do that just because of how adaptable he is. There's some pretty good stuff here. All right. I'm trying. Okay, Hyman Slayer's running around in the Vetusar. Was he also doing that during the match? I'm trying to.
At some point, he equipped it. I don't know if he had it on the entire time. Certainly. Look, if there's gonna be one man to make that thing work, anything's possible, right? Odin got into Prem last season. Like anything can happen in TF2 if you just put your mind to it for long enough, right? We're gonna have a Prem winner one day that uses the Vetusar. It's gonna happen, surely. That being said, do you think it's gonna make a difference here? I don't remember what it does. No. What does it even do? It lets you keep your Uber when you die, right?
Yeah, and this is the map where Uber advantage is the most important. Right? Like,
so,
yeah.
There's a chance it might matter. Perhaps.
Yeah. It can matter, but also, you can die a little bit easier. Sometimes you do survive on 10 HP, so yeah. I think in the grand scheme of things, it's not really worth it. It's like if you're losing, you're not losing quite as hard type of thing, but you are still losing. So most people just prefer not to use it because it's kind of a loser mentality type of weapon. But we'll see. I don't think it's going to be that important. Not going to dwell on it. I will say, I thought Sia and Maki, they played those mids really well, and they kind of felt like they were outplaying Smile and Warped on mids. They looked way less lost on those mids, and whenever they were doing aggression, they were doing it with their team. So if they can translate that into just general fights on product, I think they're going to be doing quite well, and I think that's where they're going to have to find some rounds here. I'm going to be not very bold and say it's going to be another 3-1, though, in favor of PINT Gaming.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Given what we've seen, given how solid they looked outside of the mid fights on Process, I think Completely fair, and I will agree with your assessment on that, as the teams have readied up and are rearing to go for the second map of Aragosta and the blue, PINT Gaming in the red. Well, final matchup for at least Aragosta this season, the penultimate one for PINT Gaming, with an opportunity to still make the playoffs if they stick this out, if they get as many points as they can both today and tomorrow. But it is up to them. It's up to Aragosta to throw a wrench into those plans. He's on the classic already. Yeah, alright, you love to see it. He's gonna get that first no-scope headshot though? Or is... I mean, it would be funny if he gets the first goal of the fight here, right? Ah, not quite.
Oh, actually, Alien's gonna just get spammed down by 2 soldiers. They should run 2 soldiers here on this event. And one has been taken down as well.
Smile around though. Smile slips in, gets onto Hyman Slayer, and even if all of that, like, I mean, they put their entire team down for it, right? It's Patchouli being escorted up by Andy now, and they do manage to just about get their medic out of that, but even if they get the point first, it's going to be in control of Aragosta for a bit now, and once you're in control at that point, I mean, that sniper becomes scary, especially with the classic. Like, he's got a lot of vision. You gotta worry about this guy. You gotta make sure you have him under control, have him bombed, and he's gonna play aggressively with that thing. So he's not gonna be in the positions you necessarily expect him in. That being said, Patchouli uses his Uber. They get across. Hyman Slayer just about escapes, but at least they find a frag. We'll see it going down. Maybe perhaps they get onto a little bit more here as well. There you go. Mackie and Davey both down. They didn't get the med. You do have to just contend with a forward hold on the back of that, and with Andy down, that's just gonna get ever so slightly more difficult. That being said, they did at least clean up everybody else as well, so I think they're still gonna have an easy-ish time holding this forward if they're PINT Gaming, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, they did a really good job of just cleaning everyone up. I was kind of dreading the classic there. It can't be quick scopes. Anyway, this is a forward break here. The Pyro blast everyone back. The soldiers come in, take down Smile as well. Has been forced here, but they traded quite a lot of players. That will, generally speaking, favor the attacking team. They have faster respawns here. So I think they're just going to take a deep breath, wait for them respawners, and then just go. It's pretty close with the respawners here. But overall, it should just favor Aragosta here as they trade slowly here. And you can see Varno itching forward, trying to get a good pick.
Unfortunately, it's still a lot of damage into Alien though. Has to back up for a bit, not really putting down the damage he needs to put down the spam as much, so it opens the door at least for, well, maybe this is a force, maybe this is PINT Gaming trying to go across. They're not really finding much though. They get the sniper, that's about it really. Maybe they trade out for another scout, but no, Sohi gets cleaned up. They find Sia eventually. There goes Mackie cleaned up as well, but not before putting down some damage onto Patchouli, at least getting, you know, a bit of pressure there onto PINT Gaming. Still not enough for Aragosta to hang in this, but crucially for them, they didn't lose their medic yet either. They have an Uber now of their own, and with Davey going down, and now Varnu as well, it's going to be slowed down a bit.
Oh,
my god, no shot.
He didn't believe he was going to stay alive for that long. And yeah, he got hit by some other stuff from Alien as well. Oh, he just didn't react fast enough. But yeah, probably should have popped that a while ago. But yeah, crazy that Smile lived that long. So that's going to be a drop for Hyman Slayer. That's really going to slow everyone down. And crucially, he's not using the Minosaur, so no retention of group percentage at all. And so they're just going to push forward now, and Uber comes in here. And as long as Hyman Slayer gets out alive, it's fine.
No,
fine, however.
He's the first to die, matter of fact. First focus target surgically removed from the team. Matter of fact, it might be okay. That's not the only one who dies. They get Sia as well, but they trade out 2 of their own. Crucially, one of them being Alien means a bit of ground here. There you go. A little shot onto Andy, cleans him up as well. So it's actually going to be a chance for Aragosta to finally get back and control the point, and they desperately need to, man. They're down 2.5 minutes, so they really need to hang on to this point for a while now. And being down on the Uber, albeit not by a huge amount, means it's going to be a little bit harder, but we'll see how well they can hang on to this. It's the first time they're really in control of it, and if they can just get something done here, get Varnu have some shots, and you know, all you need, suddenly things are looking mighty fun for Aragosta. Dealing with that soldier though, that's Davey taken out of the equation. The defense smiling response, but trade out Andy for Juxta as Sia gets across as well onto Alien, but doesn't crucially get the kill, and somehow they're still hanging in this on the side of PINT Gaming. Very much aggression on them, but crucial players stay alive.
And they're not going to wait for Soki to spawn in, that's fine. As it's just going to be on the classic. Good luck taking a fight. So I want to say Patchouli didn't die that entire round. It definitely felt that way. So That's a big difference here, because we saw Heimersley get picked off time and time again as those Ubers came in from Patchouli. And Patchouli, he was not holding on to Ubers for minutes at a time around. He was actually using them very proactively, and the Ubers were looking very good. Got a lot of space, got a lot of kills, and that's definitely the difference so far, I think.
Yeah, we'll see if Aragosta can find a response here, if they can figure something out. They're running double scouts now. Sia has picked up the scout, so as you were suggesting, that could be the idea. Unfortunately for them, Hamster is died immediately. Here goes Davey as well. They found one frag onto Ward. A little bit of damage out to Soki as well. He does eventually get cleaned up, but not before being traded out for basically the entire rest of the team. Eventually, only Varno remains, and he gets cleaned up as well, so it's just another beautiful performance there out of PINT Gaming, keeping it clean, keeping it easy, getting control of the point early, and now another forward hold even mounting itself. It's starting to look a bit dire for Aragosta. They have to find a way through this. They have to find a way out of this. Perhaps Varno's sniper isn't quite working as well as they wish for it to be. Right now, the Pyros at least helping bust the forward hold, but they've already lost Mackie and Davey again, so
actually
back to spawn to go.
Actually, yeah, they got the force out. That's actually pretty good. That's definitely fine. And they have a Pyro again here up as well, so they can just push out whichever way they want. There's not really a whole lot to do against the Pyro when you don't have an Uber to back it up with. Here we go. Ubers or soldiers have been pushed back. Actually, they're going to jump into Demo Man. They just want Patchouli, I guess. They're sick of this guy not dying, but he continues to stop him from not die.
He's got an Ankh on him, man. You can't kill him. He's just going to revive anyway, right on the spot. I think he's developed himself a very strong shield to shield himself from any form of disease that is being thrown at him, even if it is in form of a explosive projectile. Because for the time being, he's just hanging in there. And I mean, they have an Uber ad for Heimslayer. It is fading away. There's a headshot perhaps being lined up, but Varno can't quite get it in time. Now, having to worry about a soldier flinching him as well. Can't really find the angles he wants to. Can't really line up the shots right now. He really desperately needs to. And there's the Uber in play for both teams. It is slightly better for Aragosta. Uber favors them for the time being. They find Warped, trade it out for Sia, but they lose Mackie as well. And now with all the aggression coming across, both scouts on Davey. My man is stuck in hell. Get him out of there. And he's on a 10 kill streak right now. Make it 11. That's a Hyman Slayer, completely unattended as well. Just about barely gets behind the door, around the corner, as Varno holds his own against the Demo Man. Just manages about barely to survive the Alien there as well. Still
jumps forward. Yeah, gonna try and put on some pressure. They do cap out the point here, get some time going, but they are really far behind. There's only about a minute left here for PINT Gaming for them to win the round, so they are in no hurry here at all. However, Varno is now back. They're sniping. Whenever you hold the point and you have a sniper, that's a really comfortable position. It's very difficult to get forward there and get a good Uber pop out of them when you're Patchouli and you're playing against a sniper. So always just keep that in mind, that that's very difficult. They try to jump in there, and actually they take down Davey once again. Soldiers in the air, not going to be able to get another rocket off here, but the pressure is so real, man. It's just everyone has been pushed back from Aragosta.
That's the problem, right? I feel like they're leaving Davey out to try a little bit, to hang just a little bit by himself, and it's getting him caught more often than not. It's a nice little headshot there, wrong up onto Warped at least, as the exchange is underway on the point. It is, again, a better Uber for Aragosta, but they actually have to find something with it too beyond that, and, well, find Smile as it fades. They will get the point back in their control as well, and they have to hang on to it for a little bit longer, man. They're down 2 minutes. It's a plenty of time that they need to burn off that clock, and at this rate, I mean, they're doing okay. Even if they lose the point, they manage to restabilize fairly quickly. And as long as Varno can ring off some shots, that's a nice 150 there onto the scout. Not quite the headshot he probably would have wanted, but hey, it's another 90. It's certainly putting down a bit of chip damage here that helps. Every little bit helps. It keeps these players on their toes, keeps them moving about, and Alien getting taken down eventually as well. There you go. They're hanging on this. They're keeping this up.
Great hold. As last Soda's going to jump in there, and it's going to do nothing there. It just ended up being 3 players dying pretty much alone there, with no teammates to back them up. So now there's going to be a fall. It's a small grab as well. This is all just a stall tactic. We got a minute and 20 now for 34 seconds on the other side, so they're gaining back time here. Uber's just going to come out, take the exchange here, and they just want to make the multi.
Again, it's looking better for Aragosta. They managed to keep it solo. They managed to get everybody else out of harm's way. But unfortunately for Davey, gets caught in the post Uber from the flank. Mackie gets taken down as well. Barnu trying to step across the point, but he will probably at the very least get the hell out of there for a little bit. Oh, what a nice shot though! Surfed around onto China, and then you hit that. Beautiful. What a way to turn things around in that fight. That keeps you in this very, very much so, because he lost time and Slayer as well, so you needed that. You needed that if you're Aragosta. The timers are pretty close now.
Got it.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
It took a few rounds, it took them a while, but crucially now they have to get back on that point very quickly. Clocks are closed, but PINT Gaming is in control. You got to make sure you get that point under your control again and manage to somehow hang on to it for the next 40 seconds after that. It is still not a one round. Aragosta is certainly in this, and they're keeping themselves in this. But truly going down there gives them a nice opportunity to actually stay in this, because otherwise it was looking dire. So have an opportunity here. They just need to convert on it. Nice. Oh, nice. Arc gets taken down as well, but they find two players on the other side. The captain still being put down. Alien, though, is close on the point, and he is ready to lay down the plane on anybody who dares step on it. Still, though, it does get flipped with one player remaining as Mackie, and unfortunately for them, no one is spawning anytime soon. It is in overtime. Round will go the way of PINT Gaming, but it was a lot closer.
Yeah, Aragosta, they managed to come back quite a bit there at the end of the round. Took them a bit too long to get going. It was really looking like a roll for the top part of that map. And again, it just seems like Patchouli never ever dies. So just they warded off that pressure extremely well. And looks like we've got the sniper and bubble scout set up once again here out of Aragosta. Let's see if it works out this time around for them. Last time, they just kind of got overwhelmed by the soldier aggression. But hey, maybe this time will be different.
Perhaps there's a chance it's different. Nice little early shot there onto Alien, takes him out of the equation, so no demo for them to worry about. As a matter of fact, they're finding all the frags. They're just kiting the aggression super well. It's Soki and Patchouli escaping with their lives, getting out of there, managing to at least keep that Uber in play, but that's a very, very decisive first cap here for Aragosta. They are very much in control. Now they just got to get this forward hold, at least for a little bit. Keep these PINT Gaming players under control. Get that time taken off the clock. Get it down. You need to get yourself as much of a cushion as possible, because this hole is going to be broken through eventually. It's inevitably going to happen, unless Warp just walks into the sniper and gets headshot immediately. Okay. Alright, that's going to slow things down a bit for the side of PINT Gaming. They're just going to Uber through, actually. They're going to opt for the exchange on this side, and this is favoring Aragosta a little bit, right? They gotta just try to kite this as well as they can, and now Andy's basically caught in no man's land. Unless he can just hit all the meat shots for his life, he's not going to get much done. Soki trades out for Mackie in a 1v1. Okay, they do find Sia. Andy still staying in there. 2 health, but he's a one-man army, apparently. That's all he needs.
Yeah, the ultimate life form in action there. I like that Davey retreated this time around. They were fishing around trying to get Davey, but he was too far back there. Ron was going to get picked off there by Smile. Everyone else is back in the corner. I don't think it's a very tenable position in Aragosta, but luckily they do manage to get out of it, and they're going to try to push right back in. They have better spawns right now, so every time they trade, it favors them. So they just want to go in here before Ubers really come into effect. And try to get as much pressure on this point as they can. And actually, they take down Alien. That's definitely going to be a big deal here. Soda jumps in, though, takes down Davey as well. And now it's going to be pretty even. They pop here onto Juxta. He picks off some players, but Patchouli, he's about to just solo.
Oh, no.
He's going to be the world's longest.
Ivan Slayer, where were you going, bro? What was he doing? Who was he looking for? He was looking for something back there, but there was nothing there. I guess he just made peace with the fact that he was probably gonna die anyway, but that was an unfortunate situation. I mean, the Uber was gonna not favor them anyway, right? He was probably gonna die regardless, let's be honest, but it is an embarrassing way to go out that way, let's say it like that.
It kind of looked like there was one of those little, like, is it little ghost masks or whatever that spawns in the Halloween maps, you know, that can just spawn in random spots, right? Looked like he was looking for that. So that's just gonna be my headcanon here. As Ubers are once again pretty even, Patchouli has a slight ad here, but Alien being picked off, that's going to be a good opportunity here for them to go forward here. Aragosta, they can gain so much space now if they just want to move forward here. Soda jumps in to try and to slow it down, but he's going to be picked off, and I think this is just going to be a tide that cannot be stemmed as everyone from Aragosta is moving forward, putting pressure on the point. If they just okay, these scouts are not stepping on the point. It's actually driving me crazy as it comes in now.
They finally get the Uber across the point, but I mean, Baby's doing a good job hiding. He will eventually die, but I mean, that entire Uber for one demo man, certainly not the best thing you could have done with it. And now Heimenslayer is going to have his own. There's Andy taken out of the equation as well. Warp gets onto the medic though. Heimenslayer doesn't quite have it. He can't pop it. He has nobody to heal, so if he gets too much aggression, he does die!
Oh, 98.
You hate to see it. Throughout all of that though, still, look at time. Bit of aggression coming through, bit of players dead for the side of PINT Gaming, so hey, all the opportunities for Aragosta to finally get that cap converted, and there you go. They're still ahead on time. Just about. Just about.
Not
Hanging
by
in
much.
there.
And I think they're very likely to just lose the point extremely quickly here. It's going to be quite difficult for them to contest it properly here. But actually, the aggression is not that heavy coming in, even though the heals were quite superior for PINT Gaming. They're just going to take a sip and take it slow and get ready to go back in here. But Julie, he has Uber now. They might just pop in. You want to be careful with this sniper. Don't want to jump into it, but Andy gets picked off. I think that was the intended Uber target. Might just gonna have to be Soki that takes the chariot in now this time around.
Yeah, and they're actually gonna just send aliens straight across. Heimenslayer not close to an Uber just yet, only on 85%, so it's gonna be a bit dicey, but he's also well out of harm's way, so they're just gonna have to settle for, you know, a little bit of the scraps, and you're getting a lot of the scraps, actually, not just a little bit, and Heimenslayer does actually get caught out. Oh no! He was giving him the juke, the reach around, but unfortunately Soki had his number, realized that he was gonna be there, cut him off, and that's a very unfortunate situation for Aragosta to be in now. Now they are still up, you know, about 50 seconds on the clock. Vargo on the spy, seeing if he can maybe turn the tide here a little bit. He realizes that they need these picks.
I think they're looking for it. There's a scout behind.
Yeah, okay. In these crucial picks, they've been on top of Alien for a little bit of this round, and that was working them well. Unfortunately now, it's not working all that well anymore now, is it? They do get out of the forward hold at the very least, right? Find themselves an opportunity here again to get back to that point. Still up on the clock. They just gotta make sure they hang on it for as long as they can. And also with this, the time that they're just wasting, you know, waiting for this Uber to come up though, which Julie already has. Unless Varno hits the crazy shot of his life right now, things aren't gonna turn around that quickly, and Juli's in no position to get his head shot off. Matter of fact, he's just gonna pop off. Sure, SK gets killed, but it's not that big of a deal. Hyman still doesn't have, and unless he gets out of there and is not in any harm's way, okay, he's gonna get it just in time. But is this Uber gonna accomplish anything?
They're sort of hiding behind lines. It's right for the taking here, but actually Andy comes in from the flank as well. He takes down Tuesday. It's going to be so bad. Hyman's taking the flame as well. That was really messy, and they ended up with Heimenslayer dying, having to let his life go. Really unfortunate there. Point has still not been capped, by the way. It's on overtime. It might just be better for him to let
Oh
it
my
cap
god,
down.
Andy's on fire. He's hitting everything. He's hitting every shot. That's so sad. Juxta could have almost certainly capped that point, but he stepped up for a second to try and challenge Andy, and well, it probably wouldn't have made much of a difference, but they certainly could have hung in there for another 10 or so seconds. But what can you do when you have a scout on the enemy team going like 35-8? You know, like...
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do. GG, it is a 3-0, not a 3-1 as you predicted. And I think everybody kind of saw this coming, that PINT Gaming would take this. But Aragosta still put up a fight at points, right? They were looking solid. There were a couple of flashes of brilliance every once in a while. And hey, if they had chained those together more, this could have been a different story.
Yeah, I think when you run a perma sniper, you're really dependent on him hitting a bunch of really crucial shots and getting those important picks, and Vanu wasn't quite doing that enough.
Yes. At some point, I feel like
yeah.
at least for the first couple of rounds, he wasn't really in it as much. Towards the end, he, you know, activated a bit more. He started hitting more shots, started getting more frags, but it was just probably too little too late at that point, right? Kind of let the momentum run away with it, and here we are.
All right, important stats here. You said 35-8. It's actually 33-9. Pretty good guess. Gotta give it to you. And then Patchouli died once. It was that snipe. That's the only way he died.
That one insane shot that...
Yeah, the surf almost dying up onto the balcony, sniped the medic. That's how he died.
I mean, brilliant. Absolutely wonderful. He's also got a 1.0 KD, which, well, is better than most of his team, actually.
Yeah. Like, better than any Roman product ever, probably.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do when you have a scout on your cough map, putting down a 30 bomb and doing 400 DPM? Like,
Yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about, where I don't think they should put Andy on sniper for very long
yeah,
because
yeah.
like he does work on scout, so don't want to let
And it
go of
didn't
that.
have to. I mean, the only reason you would really ever go sniper is if the other sniper is kind of kicking your ass. But thankfully, they seem to have Varnu under control for the most part, so it didn't
Yeah,
really need that. And here we are. It's a pretty simple story. I mean, they were putting up a fight, but looks like Aragosta are going to remain pointless in this season.
yeah, not pointless though. Pint Gaming versus Forfence. That's the match. It's coming up tomorrow. They both have 9 points, so the winner of that goes into playoffs. I assume, right? It's 4-team playoffs.
No, it's 3 teams, I believe.
Oh boy,
Is it 4? Oh, if
it
it
is
is
4.
4,
Okay,
then
all right.
okay.
We've
The
got
winner
mixed
does indeed, yeah.
information. It's different every season. Good times. Uh, but yeah, Forfence has 9 points, but they have played one less than the Bloodsail Buccaneers, which has 10 points. So actually, if they split points, they can knock Bloodsail Buccaneers down 1. So that would make for some absolute chaos in the last week. Should be fun.
Should be fun for the admins to figure that one out if there's some weird ties going on and stuff as well. I'm sure they'll have a great time with that. But that is it from us, probably. I mean, I got nothing else to say about this match.
I've nothing to
Unless you
say
do.
about this match, but I will just shout out that I have a demo call on ETF2L. For if you hit any good shots, it will be, you can submit your frags there and it will be put into the season frag video. I have gotten 0 submissions so far, so be the first one.
Season do
first
be
one
drawing to a close soon, so now's the time to look for your demos, I guess. See if you had any cool moments this season. True enough. Anyway, that is it from us. We'll see you again, I guess, tomorrow for the Forfence and Pint Gaming matchup, the playoff deciding match that will have big implications. Check out the socials, all the usual stuff. Quick shout out to Manco.sur for sponsoring the season and all that. And yeah, that's it from us. See ya.